Hi guys! Today I'm here with a festive dinner. Woo! I'll be making biryani. Ooh, that's basically a festive dinner. Since this is Eid al-Fitr time, so I really wanted to make some biryani. So I'll be using the Shan spices of Bombay biryani. It's awesome. It stays. I'll be comparing all the different types of biryani options that Sean has given us, and even national. And I'll be also giving a review of other brands also. So today I'm giving a review of basically Shan Bombay biryani. I really love, and it's a popular dish of Pakistan in their festives, their weddings, in their birthday parties, or even gatherings. So I'll be using the shan, spices. So I'll be using the meat. I'll be using it's chicken. Since I have a guest of, I have a dinner of about 6 people, 6 adults. So I'll be using 2 kilograms of chicken. These are average size average size pieces. And then I'll be also using 2 kilograms of rice, and this is the size of the cup. I think it's almost 250 grams of 1 cup. So I have taken 6 cups. And then I will start with the basic ingredients are 3 large size onions. I'll chop it thin slices and I'll show you. These are almost 1 kilogram tomatoes. I'll also chop them. Then I've taken ginger garlic paste of again Shan. The fragrance is nice. Its fragrance is just as the fresh one. And I really love it. Then I've taken turmeric, which is also called imli in Urdu. Pakistanis call it imli. And then I've taken almost 2 blocks, and I'll soak it in a water with the lukewarm water, and I'll just blend it in the water. It's going to be a thick paste. I'll take out the seeds and then I'll use the paste. These are the dried plums, and then I'll use them almost 7 to 8 dried plums, almost 3 to 4 tablespoon yogurt. I've taken Greek yogurt that's thicker in paste. You can use anyone. And then I've taken almost 3 chilies. And for 2 kilograms of chicken, 2 kilograms of rice, I'll be using 2 packets of Bombay biryani masala, and then I'll be using the 2 packets. For one single chicken, 1 kilogram, you can use a single packet. Actually, I'm giving a twist in the recipe. I'm adding a few things in the recipe at the back. I'm adding a few things over here. You have dried plums already in this packet. I'm just adding it because I like the sour taste of this dried plums, and I like the sour taste of this turmeric. So I just like that. If you guys can also even do it, because the flavor and the taste of this spice is also sour, and it's a bit spicy also. So those who like spicy options, so they can take one whole packet for one chicken, 1 kilogram of chicken and 1 kilogram of rice. And if they taking if I am taking 2 kilograms of chicken and 2 kilograms of rice, so that's why I'll be taking 2 packets, just to give you an idea. That's why I'm repeating the quantity. Thank you. Now I've sliced the onions in a bit thinner size, and chopped the tomatoes. And now I'll be starting the frying of onion. So I've taken 3 large serving spoons of oil for frying my onion, and let it just get a bit hot, and then I'll start frying my onion. Okay. I'll be adding my onions to fry. I'll make sure that the onion slices gets golden brown. That it should give roasted flavor, roasted fragrance also. That gives a good fragrance. Actually, this fragrance is quite addictive. So I'll keep it frying. I'll just keep it stirring so that it doesn't burn. Okay, meanwhile, I will be marinating my chicken with the spices, the Bombay Biryani spices. Since I'm using 2 kg of chicken, so as I earlier told you guys that I'll be taking 2 packets, so I'll be marinating with the spices. Okay. Wow, the fragrance is so addictive also. I love this fragrance of the spices. Meanwhile, I'll be also checking the onion. I just keep it frying. I'm just scared. I don't want to burn it. I just want to make it golden brown. Okay. Adding the next Shan Bombay Biryani packet. Okay. I'll marinate it just till the onion is roasted completely golden brown, just till that time. It's just going to take a few minutes. Yeah, so this is just marinated. Okay, and I'll soak my rice also in water. Meantime, my curry gets prepared, the biryani curry gets prepared, then I'll boil the rice. So I'll soak the rice so that it gives me a full grain, full size of the banaspati rice. So, and I've also prepared this paste. I showed you the clumps of tamarind, and so I've just made a paste. It's just that you make the water warm in a microwave, and then if you just try to blend it, and then it makes a thick paste. I'll be just removing the seeds, and because I don't want the seeds to be when we'll be having the rice, so I don't want these seeds to be in our spoon, so that basically annoys. And now simultaneously onion is being fried. I'm just waiting for the onion. Now biryani, basically people love biryani in chicken, love in mutton, and you can love in lamb, anything, turkey. So it gives a yum taste. I mean, when I think over it, I still feel hungry. I mean, I'm so addicted to have biryani. My husband also loves biryani. Everybody loves biryani. So we have to just wait till this onion gets roasted, golden brown color. I'll be showing you guys, and then uh, just have to wait and watch. Guys, now you can see that our onion is golden brown. It's not. Its fragrance is also roasted. Okay, it's not dark as like burnt, but it's roasted, so its fragrance is also roasted. Now I'll be adding the chopped tomatoes. Yeah, as you add the tomatoes, so the frying, because there'll be some liquid of the tomatoes, so the frying of the onion will stop. And now I'll start the the onion, sorry, the tomatoes. That's going to cook. I'll add the ginger garlic paste because I want the ginger garlic paste also to get roasted while getting while tenderizing the chopped tomatoes. I want them to be also I want this paste to be roasted because the fragrance of garlic and ginger should be not fresh in the, it should be a roasted flavor. So I'll keep this also again. Make sure that you cook on a slow flame, not on a very high flame, or if you're cooking in a high flame, you are in a bit hurry. So please just stand beside your pan, your pot. I'm just adding my paste. I took almost 3 tablespoons ginger garlic paste. Okay. Okay, I'll just keep it to cook so that the ginger garlic paste gets roasted and the tomato gets tenderized, and I just want it as paste. I don't want them I don't want them in chunks. I don't want these chunks basically. I wanted them to be as paste. So I'll show you as when they're all done and it turns into a paste. It's going to be then after, when this gets tenderized and it gets into a shape of a paste, and the ginger garlic flavor also gets into a roasted flavor, a roasted fragrance, then I'll add my chicken, which was marinated by the Shan Bombay Biryani spices. I had marinated it. Then I'll add this into the curry, the tomatoes, tender tomatoes, and then I'll fry it into the oil, and then we'll add further ingredients. Okay, so let's just cover. So by covering it, it gets a quick again, I'll not keep the flame too high. Okay, I don't want it to burn, and then I'll just keep it and wait for some time so that the tomatoes gets tender. Now you can see they're a bit semi-tender and a semi-paste, but still I can find some chunks of tomato pieces. So midway, we are just halfway more to make them more, it's a more final look in paste, because I want to make it a more paste. Yeah, and let it a bit more fry or get it more roasty fragrance. Okay, I've just checked out the garlic fragrance, so there's no garlic fragrance at the moment, because I just told you that when you add ginger garlic paste, it should cook until you don't feel the fragrance of garlic and ginger paste that we did already had poured when we started frying the tomato chunks. So now I don't feel any fragrance, so this is nice, it's good. So that means the garlic paste is quite a much roasted, but still, as there are still some chunks, so I don't want these chunks actually, so I'll keep it more frying. I'll keep it I just want to dry a bit of this. I'll just make these chunks finish, and I want a smoother paste. I know it's a bit thicker, but a smoother paste. I also want, because as my chicken, as I'll just add now I'm just going, my next step is to add this marinated chicken in the paste. So while this is going to be tender, the chicken is going to be tender in the paste. So again, this will be continuously drying up and getting it more paste, finer paste, smooth and finer paste. So, well, I think we are having a lesser of chunks. So you can see that my flame is at a, it's not very high. It's on a lower flame because I'm just cooking on a low flame. You can just see, I still see some chunks like this. So I'm just waiting for some more time so that I will have as minimum as possible as the chunks. And then I'll be adding the chicken, the marinated chicken. Okay, meanwhile I'll be just adding or reminding you guys that I've soaked my rice, and I'll try to check it out that the rice should be almost 2 hours soaked. I'm using Layla Banaspati rice. I'm using the gluten free. You can find in Layla the gluten free also, and the awesome rice. And really, when I came to UK and I was in search of the long grain rice, and I really loved that. I think now I can just there's still a bit of the chunks, but I can still add. I just put the marinated chicken so that when the chicken is getting tender, again the tomatoes are also getting more and more smoother, and then you don't find any chunks. Why? Because I don't like these chunks when I'm eating the rice, because I want a smoother, and I don't want even chunks into my mouth. So that's why it doesn't look nice. I remember my mom never liked that. So I've just added the chicken. The chicken doesn't take much time for gets tender. It's basically, it takes a lesser time as compared to the mutton, or as compared to lamb. It takes lesser time. Okay, you can just add all the spices. Yeah, now I'll just cover it up, and since it's on a slow flame, so it's all right. This chicken doesn't take much time to get tender. Okay. I'll just I'll just cover it up, and I'll wait. Okay, meantime I'll be also checking it out so that it doesn't burns or it doesn't gets over roasted on the base of the pot. See, I've just used a shallow pot. This is just because I wanted the curry, the biryani curry to be better roasted, because the roasting is much in a deeper one. I like the shallow ones for curry because it takes lesser time to get it roasted. If you take deeper pots, it also gets into that, but I just love the shallow ones. Okay, I'll just keep it for some time until the chicken gets tender, and then we'll check it out. Now guys, my chicken is 60 to 70% tender. I've checked. See, you can this it's towards the it's towards tender. So now I've just raised the flame. I want to basically dry the curry. I don't want it too liquid, I don't want it too much, so I've just increased the flame and I'm just beside it trying to stir it up, but please don't stir it in the mid, just at the corners, so that the pieces don't just shed off. And I'll be keeping cook. I just want to dry it a bit. Then meanwhile, when this keeps cooking, I'll have to add the yogurt. It's a thicker one, so I'll be taking almost 3 to 4 spoons. You can take 2 spoons per chicken, 2 tablespoons per chicken. So since mine was 2, I've almost taken 4 spoons, 4 tablespoons. Slowly stirring it so that it just dissolves. Yogurt has basically increased the liquid. So since the chicken is there's still time to be done. I usually in biryani it's prefer to be a well done chicken. Okay, it's preferred like that. So chicken, since it doesn't take much time, so it doesn't. Now it doesn't take much time, so it's done so quick. Now I'll be adding almost a tablespoon of the tamarind paste without seeds. Okay, so I'll not be adding the seeds. You can see that I've taken out in this form that these are the seeds. I can make you touch this. So this almost a spoon of tamarind paste without seeds. If accidentally a seed or two comes even, it's alright, but try not to. Okay. Depends how much sour you like. Basically, I like a bit more sour. I'll be taking 2 tablespoons of tamarind paste. Okay, it's a thick paste. Meanwhile, the curry is getting ready. I have increase the flame. It was almost 60% tender, but not well done. So I just increased the flame. Then I have added another tablespoon. I'll let it cook for some time so that it gets a bit drier. Cooking it to the final stages of the curry of biryani, I'm just adding the dried plums into it. Now, there are two things. If you like the spices, which is preferred to myself, if you ask me, I love the rice of the biryani. It should be it should have all the flavor of the curry, but a few people like a dry rice, so that whatever you prefer, so that makes you decide how much liquid do you want for this curry. Like if you want a drier one, so you make this curry more drier. You just dry the liquid, the water off from the curry. But if you want a bit of the rice to be more mixed with the curry, you want it more liquidy, so you can keep this a bit wet. So I'll make it a bit dry in the mid, and I'll show you how it is. I love that the rice should be full of taste, because I'll boil the rice, and I'll show you the next step. I'll boil the rice, and when the rice is half done, then I'll add the curry with the rice, and then we'll make it into layers. We'll make it like marbling with the curry and the rice into layers, and then we'll keep it on the flame, and then we'll make it to be full done. After we keep it on the flame for full done. So that's the reason why we have to decide how much liquid you want to keep this curry. So I'll be keeping in a mid, not too dry and not too liquid. That's what I want to explain. Now this is a bit, it's getting towards dry. How do you understand that this is much drier? Because this liquid decreases, it dries up, and you can find some oil that comes upon the curry. Now there's one more thing I just want to make you guys understand. I think you can see that now you cannot identify any tomatoes. Did you find any tomatoes? They're all in a smoother paste. So that's a few things that makes your biryani to look beautiful. Okay, so now you can see some oil that comes on the top. It's resting on the top. That means it's towards almost to the final stage. And then when it's at the final stage, I'll just add a few green chilies and then cook for a few minutes, and then I'll just close the curry. I'm done with the curry part. The second stage starts with the rice. Okay. Woo! Okay guys, now I'll be starting the second phase of making biryani, which is basically we've done with the curry part. You can see that, okay, sorry for the background voice. Okay, now you can see that the curry is ready, and it's a bit thicker paste. It's not liquid. You can see some oil on the top also. That indicates that the curry is quite adequately dried, and it's not a liquid paste, because I don't want too soggy rice. And so the second phase starts by boiling the rice and layering them with this curry and some green leaves. I'll be showing you what to be layered. Now, so what pot you should select for the rice and layers it should be a deeper one. You've seen that I made the curry in a shallow one. That helps me to roast the tomato, the onions, and the chicken or the meat to get it roasted. I don't want a liquid one, so if it's shallow, it's easier, but it depends. I'm just giving you the tip and the trick to make it a good looking and easier way to make the curry. Now this is, I took a deeper pan for the layering, and I'll show you also I made some preparations beforehand before boiling the rice. I have collected sievers on where I'll be draining the rice when the rice gets about 70% done, but it's not whole done. And then I'll sieve them and drain all the water, collect the rice in a bowl, and similarly I'll then layer it with the curry. I'll make layers with the curry, and then let me show you what additional to the curry, it gives a good fragrance. These will be a certain leaves, these are coriander leaves and the mint leaves. Then I'll be adding some slices of lemon and a bit of oil and some lemon juice also, not much. And I'll be also adding pickled jalapeno. If you don't like too much sour, you can take slices of green chili. That works wonders also. But I like this flavor and the pickled jalapenos. And we'll also take the food color, reddish or orangish in color. So we'll make it a bit colorful rice because that's how it is. So we'll be using this for layers, and while boiling so let's start, and I'll be giving you more tips and tricks how to make it more fragrant and more, I mean, delicious, and it's so awesome. It just there are only a bit of the tips how we're going to do the complete recipe of the second phase. Okay, now I've kept the deeper pot on the flame, on a higher flame, and I've added water in it so that it boils. Now just to give an estimate how much water you're going to use it, since I was using this cup to measure the rice and I took 6 cups, so I add, now the water I've taken is almost 6 plus 3 more cups, so you can have an estimate so that your rice just dips in. And these are bit tricks I use. Now a few things we'll be adding while boil of water. The green chilies, 2 or 3, it gives fragrance. Bay leaves, 2 or 3, it's optional also. Some mint leaves, optional also, and petals of the spice flower. In Urdu we call this flower badian. Let me check. Badian, yeah. Let me check what's we call it. I don't remember the name in English. So these are available in all spice shops. Then I'll just cover it up so that it boils quickly. So I'll leave it out. I'll leave this and I'll just wait for some time. After that, I'll be adding my soaked rice. Now these are the soaked rice. You have seen it has rice up. It was at the level, at lower level here. Now the rice have rise up there. You can soak them. I mean, 2 hours is adequate, and mine has taken 1.5 and just 1.45 hours now. 2 is adequate, but even 1 or 1.5, 1:45 minutes. I mean, it's also fine. Okay, but you just to show you that it has rice, and I mean, they look this soaked. So soaked rice gives a much more lovely look. Okay, so I'm just waiting so that it boils. Then I'll add the water. I'll add the rice in it. I don't want to add this soak water. Okay, so I'll just drain it and then I'll put it in the boiling water. Okay, guys, I'm just waiting. Let's see. Just to add few points. We serve rice or biryani rice with yogurt. Yogurt, I mean, which contains. I'll prepare the yogurt meanwhile also, and I'll be showing how it's served, how it's taken when we have it in our dinners or lunch, festive. So I'll prepare the yogurt also. And so let's make it. While in the meanwhile, when the water is boiling. Now, guys, you have seen the water is boiling rigorously. Now I'll be adding the rice. So you can see it's boiling. Well, I'll be adding the rice in it. Keeping the flame on a higher level, okay? It's not at a low flame. So therefore, if you're cooking in a higher flame, so be careful, guys, that you're just next to it. Don't ignore it. And remember when whenever I ever cook rice, so my mom used to say that I should be careful cooking rice because it's tender. We don't want the rice to be broken into pieces. We want a whole grain, so it should look beautiful also, with delicious taste, fragrant, with mint leaves. Water, the boiling water has a fragrance of mint leaves, green chilies. Okay, so you can see I'm handling the rice carefully as they soaked, so I don't want to crush them also. They've started being tender. There's so not much tender right now, I mean, but still I'm be careful. Adding the 6 cups of rice in almost 9 glasses of water. You can see that the water is not too much in the pot. You can see that only it's higher a bit only. I'll give you an estimate. I'll teach you the trick also how to check the water, the level of water by a serving spoon. So these are the just indicators helping us to boil a rice. Then I can take a different session on just boiling rice, but since we're just reviewing the recipe of Shan Bombay Biryani at the moment, so keeping ourselves focused also, and just giving a reminder of the tips and the tricks. Now guys, I've added all the rice and making them a layer. You can see, if just check this, it's not deep inside, so I can add a bit more water, but if I need to add more water, so it's important that it should be hot, because this water is hot water right now. I don't want to add cold water, but we can add water up to mid of the serving spoon. So it's not mid, it's just tip of the serving spoon is dip inside the water, level between the water and the rice. Okay, I'm just talking about that water. So we till the mid of this serving we can add it. Okay, so I can add more water, that means. So I'll preheat some water in the microwave and add it a bit. Okay, let me just preheat the water. Okay, meanwhile I've taken salt to boil the rice. There were 6 cups, so 6 tablespoons of salt. I'll just give a stirring to the salt. Let me just add a bit more water. Okay, adding the water, I'll show you the level. So now it's almost less than half. I mean, it's now fine. Okay, I've leveled it. It's boiling. I've added salt, I've added bay leaves, and I've added mint leaves in the boiling water earlier. Now I'll cover it. Okay, I'm covering it, and meantime I was making my yogurt. I'll take yogurt. I'm using a Greek style, you can use anyone. Then I'll make it a smooth paste. I'll beat it and add salt and some of the mint leaves, chopped mint leaves. Okay. Since there are 6 adults and 2 kids having dinner today, I'll be adding a bit finely chopped mint leaves, salt. Some people use crushed pepper, red pepper. I'll not be using that. So there are a lot of recipes of making this yogurt. It's called raita in our language. Indian Pakistanis use those raita word. So it's basically a sauce of yogurt. Okay. Guys, I can hear that it has adequately boiled the rice, and it's time we can sieve. I have it's so this shows that I can sieve it because it's 60%, 70% done. So I'll just switch the flame off and take to the sievers we have prepared for the sieving. Okay, just to show you. Now I don't want water, okay? Okay, because our curry has a bit, it's in a paste form, it's not very dry. So I've drained all the water. Okay, you can see there's no rice inside. Now guys, when showing the layers, I'm now using a flatter one. Don't use the deeper one because I don't want to break my grains. Okay, cleaning the edges. Okay, I'll add a bit of oil because I don't want it to burn on the base. It's just a protective layer. Okay. Okay guys, I did added a layer of oil so that it doesn't burn. Now starting with layering with a layer of rice. You can keep it a bit thicker, it's alright. Using a flatter spoon. Okay, then I'll be adding the curry I made earlier, which was the first phase of making biryani. This is the curry. You can see it's a thicker one. It's not liquid. I'm just repeating this because this is a common mistake. If you're making a liquid one, that means you want your rice to be more soggy. Then try to make your rice to be only 30 to 40% done, not up to 60-70%. Okay, we'll be layering curry, and I'll be taking some pieces of chicken, which I've used chicken here. Okay, I'll be adding the slices of lemon. It gives a very nice fragrance. Okay, then I'll add the leaves I was just mentioning for the layering. These are the coriander leaves, the chopped mint leaves. Okay, and then I'll add the food color because I want to give just tips. You can see just tips. I use fork because it can give equal distribution in the rice. I don't want it to be in just a single area. Just only tips you can see. Okay guys, then the second layer, you can see on the top how and a bit of oil, not much. Now can you show on the top? Now you can see how it looks. Okay, I can add, now it depends, you can add more leaves, it all depends. Some people also add layers or fried onion, all depends. I don't like fried onions because actually my husband also don't like that. It gives a, some people do like that. You can also add that for layering. So our next layer of rice, curry again. There's another tip. If you make thin layers of rice and then curry, so again the curry equally distributes when you're taking out, when you're serving in your platter. So again, some meat pieces. I've used chicken, so some curry. Okay. Some leaves, coriander and mint. Okay, lemon, a bit of oil, and the food color I showed you again, just tips, not much. I took fork because it doesn't take much and it has different, thinner edges, so it helps you to take a little bit, not much. It saves you basically. Okay, then I'll take. Okay, I made rice 6 cups. Okay, just to remind you guys. So make sure your pot is such deep because you're now adding 2 things. The meat, the curry, that is a curry. And the rice. Okay. The slices of lemon. Can you just be a bit near so that you can see I added okay, the next layer again. Okay, now this is the last final layer. You can see I will settle it down. Since making a thinner layers, you can see that the layer between the last curry and rice and the topmost, it's not too large. You can see some of the pieces of chicken. So now adding curry again. You can see the consistency of my curry. This is the best consistency. Again, I'm just repeating it. If you want it very soggy, but that doesn't look nice. So 2 kilo chicken, 2 kilo rice, 2 kilogram of rice. I've completed. Layering it with the green leaves, coriander and mint leaves. You can add them more. It gives awesome fragrance. Slices of lemon. Awesome for fragrance. And I also mentioned that you can add chopped chilies, but I did not because I have a smaller daughter, so it can be quite spicy. I mentioned some pickled jalapenos, so that gives also an awesome fragrance. But I think I did not use it right now, but I mentioned it in the ingredients, so you can easily do it, and it also gives awesome fragrance with delicious taste. So if I added an adequate color, I'll show you the final picture when I will be plattering it. I took almost 3 tablespoons of oil just for layering it. This basically helps the curry to penetrate inside the rice. It helps and it doesn't make the layers to be very soggy. Keeping a flame in the beginning, it should be higher, but then when it gets when it starts cooking, you can then decrease it. Now I'll keep it for almost a few more minutes, about 10 minutes, but I'll not open the lid out because I want to have adequate steam inside it, so the remaining 30 to 20% of rice gets done. The curry absorbs in the rice and it gives a delicious taste. Now there's some tips. If you're using a pot which has a cover like this, flat one, you can seal it with foil paper, a newspaper, a cloth. But since my lid, it seals inside, so I don't need such sealing things. There's no steam outside even I'll close this area. So this is another tip, to use any pot which has a sealed cover. But again, if you have a flat one, you can seal it with the foil paper, with the cloth, or with any newspaper. So at the beginning the flame will be at a higher level, then I'll decrease it because I'm scared that it should not burn. We can also keep a layer at the beneath the pot, and my aim is to put it in there should be some steam gathered and the rice should be well done now. Okay, now towards the final stages of the biryani. It's so on a slow flame. You can barely see the flame, and I'm now preparing the yogurt. I've taken yogurt since I have 6 adults and 2 kids, so I've taken adequate amount of. It's a yogurt sauce, or we call it raita in Urdu, and so this is a bit. It can be spicy or less spicy, depends on what you like. So I took yogurt. I added about some milk just to make it a smooth paste. Since I used the Greek yogurt, it's healthy also. So I want to make it the consistency. This is fine. Oh, I can make it a bit. Please don't add water. You can see it's not liquid and it's not And I'll be adding ginger garlic paste. You can see just a tip. Mix it thoroughly. Okay. Chopped mint leaves. Just a tip of salt. This is ground cumin powder. In Urdu we call it zira powder, and it's cumin powder. Just again half teaspoon. Now again, it depends on how much spices you like. You can add crushed green chilies. That also give a good flavor and fragrance also. Somebody can add crushed red chilies. Again, it depends on how much you like. I'm just adding the remains also. So I'm done with my yogurt sauce or the raita. We love this with biryani. We can also have a twist of adding the salad into this raita. We can make it a blend of like cucumber, onion, so chopped one. It depends. That is also loved with everybody. You wish you can do that. So I'll be using this yogurt sauce. I'll be serving this yogurt sauce with the biryani platter. Okay, now I'm ready to close the rice. Okay, you can see steam coming up, and I will give you a closer look. You can see I've just turned it upside down. If you can see the closer look, it's just ready to serve. I've prepared this my serving area. This is the yogurt, and then I'll just add the rice on a platter.